Alright guys, the first question here is from advertising, which was the first Indian advertising agency? The answer for this is Indian Advertising Agency. Dattatram and Co is the second. So the first one is Indian Advertising Agency. So read all advertising agencies right from the beginning. Read it in a chronological order, read it in a historical format. And then the next question is IMRB is a unit of. Basically, IMRB is the unit of Hindustan Thompson's Associates. So media organizations are very important, research organizations are very important, newspaper organizations are important, then industrial bodies are important, so you have to study all those things. Then apart from that, you have journalist organizations, that is also important. The next question is from electronic media. What are VNRs? VNRs are basically, it is video news releases. Earlier, news used to be released in cassettes or tapes. So that's why video news releases is the answer. Read production terms also. Go to the glossaries of primary books on print media and electronic media. Then apart from that, the next question is from news agencies. Very simple question. Press Trust of India was started in 1947. Now remember the dates, remember the years also, because I remember once they also asked when was television started in India. So the answer is 15 September 1959. Moving on to the next question. During whose viceroyalty was the Repressive Act, also known as the Gagging Act, passed? So here the answer is Lord Lytton. Who wrote India on television? The answer is Nalin Mehta. So it's very important that you study media books, at least the author, glossary, the summary, and when was it written. Once they also asked chronological order of the most common mass communication books like mass media theory, then mass communication research. So then mass communication and India. Very simple questions, but we always forget to read the years. So it's very important that when you are reading books, memorize the year and the author. So the next question, which of the following statistical tools is used for prediction? So the answer is regression. Now if you have difficulty in understanding statistics, you go online, because there are good explanation given by people on what is mean, what is median, what is mode, then what is chi-square, various testing methods, t-test. All these things are available online. Wimmer and Dominic gives you an introduction, but if you want to study in depth or if you want to know more, please go online and Google it or search it on YouTube. The next question, the height of geostationary satellite about the surface of the earth is approximately, so the height of geostationary satellite above earth. So the answer for that is 36,000 kilometers. Now moving on to the next question. In statistical measurement, a level of measurement in which the distance between the two consecutive divisions is equal is called. So when it's a level of measurement, whether it's ordinal, nominal, interval and ratio. Remember, when two consecutive divisions is equal, it is interval scale or interval level. And IRS was first conducted in 1995. Very important to study about ABC and other research organizations, or even circulation, readership organizations, then television viewership organizations. All these things you have to study with the year and when was it started, who is the present owner, what is its research method. For IRS, Indian Readership Survey, what is the sample size which they take. All these things you have to study. And moving on to the 11th question, the structural potential for communications imperialism was pointed out by. So Johann Gatling, he has done works regarding imperialism. So this answer is B. Which part of the Indian Constitution consists fundamental duties? Which part of the Indian Constitution consists for fundamental duties? Again, media laws, Constitution in general, very important, media laws and ethics. That paper we have to cover. The answer for fundamental duties is part 4a. Another direct question, very common question, software. What is the function of so and so software? Which of the following is a popular editing software for video or film? So as we know, Final Cut Pro. Quark Express, the options are Quark Express, basically text. Photoshop is for pictures. InDesign is a combination of text and pictures. Remember that InDesign can incorporate Photoshop also within it because Adobe. The next question, identify the newspaper which is published in tabloid form. Another very common question. They have also asked newspaper published in Berliner format. Mint was published in Berliner format. So that was once a question. Here the question was in tabloid form. So the answer for that is Mail Today, C. Which represents the primary light source in television program production. The primary light source in 3-point lighting is basically the key light. So the answer for it is A. Study what happens in production, television production, how newspaper is also produced, various production techniques, various printing techniques you learn, and in electronic media, what is how the entire production process happens, how offline and all-right production is done. So those things you have to study. What are the equipments used? And then what are the roles which people occupy both in television, films, and then newspapers, magazine, who does what basically. And moving on to question 16, identify the association that is correct. So the options are Delian, learner, and cultivation. As you know, cultivation theory is not by Lerner, it is by George Gerbner and Gross. So remember that. And then Wilbur Schramm and diffusion of innovation. Diffusion of innovation is a concept given by Everett Rogers. So remember that. Elihu Katz and Lazar Fields is known for those voter experiments in 1940s. These two are post-positivism. They are part of post-positivism school of thought. So grammatology is not the answer. It is Derrida who gave grammatology. It is a very famous book if you know of grammatology. Now talking about semiotics, who all you should cover, because semiotics you have so many authors. So remember to study about Saucer, remember to study about Peirce, remember to study about Jacobson, remember to study about Roland Barthes. Then after Roland Barthes you study Derrida, Greimas. So these are the important scholars which you have to cover in semiotics, because the field is so diverse that you might get confused, but these 5-6 names you remember. So the next question, identify the correct combination of mass communication theories. The answer for this is B, because mathematical model is also source dominated. Gatekeeping happens at source, propaganda happens at source, hegemony is also source dominated. So the answer for this is B. 18th one, the airways are public property is a famous Supreme Court judgment in 1990s which paved way for the private televisions in India. So the answer for this, airways are public property, is a declaration of Supreme Court. Read all Supreme Court judgments which are relating to media. Now the next question is folk forms. There are around 15 to 20 folk forms. You have to know these things, which state it is, what kind of format it is, whether it allows flexibility of other messages or not, or whether it's very rigid. Why? Because once it has asked a question where they have asked a question where which of the following is a flexible folk form. So you should know that also. So here the question is, Yakshagana is the folk art of Karnataka. There are many folk forms. Lavani is there, then puppetry is there. So you have to know all those things. Question 20. Identify the author who has defined development communication as leapfrogging centuries of underdevelopment. The answer is Nora Kubral, because if I remember, she used the definition of speedy transformation. So leapfrogging is related to speedy transformation. So the answer is Nora Kubral. She is also mother of development communication, and then she She is considered to be the one who has coined the term development communication as well. And apart from that, the options are Wilbur Schramm, Daniel Lerner's, Everett Rogers. Development communication itself is a very fast field. So if we have time, we'll cover that also. The next 21st question is assertions and reasons. Let me tell you assertions and reasons. There is a popular trick which is used to solve this. For assertions and reasons, what I suggest is that you spend at least a week for it, maybe very near to the exam, and you know the trick, and then solve questions from 2015. At least 10 question papers you solve only on assertion reason. What I'm giving you is direct questions, and passages also I'm not covering because it takes time, and those things you have to attack in the beginning. Passages, this time it was 98, 90 to 100. So if possible, when you are giving the exam, click on 90 and see whether it's a passage. So because it consumes a lot of time, you should attack it in the beginning so that you have time for other questions. Remember to have a straight mind, a journalistic mind. Don't have ideologies, whether it's left, right. Try to be as possible in the center, because you cannot be ideological when it comes to the examinations, whether you are studying for civil services or any examination or even UGC-NET. Try to stay away from ideologies. So the next question is match the following. Basically they have given the list of authors and concepts. So on one side you have authors, the other side you have concepts. Now Dallas Smith has given cultural screen, and then Assertions has given media, the agents of power. Very famous book by Assertions, the agents of power. And then Loitard has given postmodernism, or is part of postmodernism, because postmodernism is a very big field. And as you know, Marshall McLuhan, the medium is the message. Here remember that when you are reading about someone, you also read his books. And Marshall McLuhan has also given many books. With the dates, you try to memorize it. The next match the following is news agencies and country of origin. So news agencies, very important topic. Read about all the famous news agencies in the world. At least 10 to 15. If you have time, you also cover African news agencies, ONA, PANA and all those things. So Reuters is by UK, Associated Press is by USA, AFP, which is considered to be the first news agency, is from France, and then PTI is from India. And Indian news agencies, I'm telling you, study all of them, study who owns it, who is the primary editor, and then in which year it is started. So all these things you have to know. And what are the services they are giving, which language, Urdu, Hindi and all those things. So the next question is basically software and application. Match the following again. What software does what? SPSS is a statistical analysis tool. Apart from SPSS, now the popular ones are Python, R. So remember this, Python and R. And FCP, as we all know, is for video editing. And there are others also. Avid is there. You have Avid is there. Then you have Premiere Pro. In mobile, now famous is KineMaster. So who knows, that may also come. And then Pro Tool is audio editing software. So sound and audio production. And PageMaker is for printed material. Printed software is also InDesign, Quark Express, PageMaker, CorelDRAW. All these things are print media softwares. The next match the following is directors and film. So Alfred Hitchcock, basically he has made Birds. Dada Saif Phalke, Raja Harishchandra. Aparna Sen is 36 Chaurangi Lane, and then Shyam Benegal has made Bhumika. Now when it comes to directors, this year also there was a question. 4 films were given. Arrange it in a chronological order. So when you are studying about films also, remember if it's Hitchcock, study his films in a chronological order. whether it's Charlie Chaplin, Champanacle, Satyajit Ray, remember that. So the next question is again a match the following concepts and propounders. The answer for the concepts is entropy is given by Shannon and Weaver. Empathy is given by Daniel Lerner. Lagarde's the last stage in diffusions model is by Rogers, and public sphere is Habermas. So it's very important that you make gist of theories and who proposed the theory and in which year it was proposed. The next question basically is concepts and examples and explanations. Another match the following, you have to match concepts with explanations and examples. Here this is a question from advertising. Now category is painkiller SS because SS is a particular, maybe who knows it's strong, so category is painkiller SS. And then segment, it's breakfast cereal because it's a particular segment. And then added value is sweetened breakfast cereal because sweetened is the added value. And functional value is logo of Bata because we trust Bata to be very strong, and that is its functional value. The next question again a match the following. Year All India Services and year of commencement is been given. Basically you have to match the year with the year of starting a particular service by All India Radio. Now external service was started in the year 1943. Vivid Bharati was started in 1957. News service was started in 1936 and commercial broadcasting was started in 1967. Again, history of radio has to be studied in a chronological order. And then the next question, the correct sequence of the constituents of the 4 estates is. So press is the 4th estate, Lords, Clergy, Common and Press, that is the chronological order which the British follow. So the answer is B, Lords, remember this, Lords, Clergy, Common and Press. And that's how you get the 4th estate as Press. Moving on to the next question, find the chronological order of the moving visual. Now basically it's a very simple question. They have given you frame, shot, sequence and film. So answer is D. So first is frame as we all know, then shot, then you sequence and then film. Very simple. The next question is identify the correct combination of probability sampling. So the first thing which you are taught is random sampling. Second is systematic random sampling. Third is stratified. Fourth is multi-stage. And then you have cluster sampling. Once these are done, they'll teach you what is non-probability sampling. So keep it simple when such kind of questions come. Now identify the correct sequence of pages that is generally found in a daily newspaper. Sequence of pages, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. So here the correct option is page 3, edit, then you have the open it, then in the end you will have the sports pages. So answer is A. Now the next question is the correct sequence of adopters in innovation model. So diffusions of innovation, those 5 stages. So the correct answer here is innovators, then early adopters, then early majority, late majority and laggard. So the answer for this is C. Now the next question, advertising strategy is a blend of marketing, obviously first option is correct, marketing mix, then creative mix and promotion mix. So the answer for this is 1, 2, 3. D. Again a chronological order, the correct sequence of TV news personnel according to the role they play in news production. So first is input editor, second is reporter, output editor and producer. Input editor decides what has to be included, what has to be covered, reporters go and cover it. Output editor and producer is linked to the output of the television program, not what is coming inside. Basically what goes out is the job of output editor and producer. Identify the correct sequence of the steps in a normal TV program production. Again very simple question, correct another chronological order. That's why I am telling you that you have to study the entire thing or the entire field of mass communication in a chronological order, right from the time where printing press was being invented, or even before that, where was paper found, or even before that, what were the forms of communication which early men used. So right from the beginning, you have to study the entire field. Now the last question is the correct sequence of the steps in a normal television program production. The first step is recording. The first step is you write the script, then you record, then you digitize it, then you edit it, and then you give looping or dubbing to it. So the answer is C: script, recording, digitization, editing, looping, and dubbing. Anyone who goes regularly to mass communication classes will get this answer right. So this is the answer key for June 2009 Mass Communication and Journalism Paper 2. We'll have more such videos, especially on those papers where the key is not available online. We'll go in a sequential order, study the field in the sequential order. All the best, guys.